Hello everyone and welcome to NETCRYPTO, where you get important information and news about all coins and tokens of interest. And today we are taking a look at Supra, right? So this video has been requested by one of the NETCRYPTO members, right? So as a member, that's one of the perks that you get. You can request for me to actually do a review of a project, and requests from members always take priority. That's just one of the perks among many others, right? If you join the NETCRYPTO membership. So Supra, what is this project? So build super dApps on the all-in-one Supra layer 1. Extreme throughput, native Oracle services, freedom to build your own composable ecosystems, and the option to build with the language you love. That's a dApp builder's paradise. That's what we are creating on Supra layer 1, right? So in this video, you're going to be talking about some key dates that you need to know and how they can affect you if you're deciding to invest or if you've invested into this one, right? We're going to be talking about the pros and we're going to be talking about the cons as well, so that you are fully informed about this project. So let's jump straight onto the white paper. Right, so onto the whiteboard rather. So Supra project review. So the key dates for this one is October 25, 2023. So this was the pre-sale, right, and the TGE for the project. This is a little bit confusing, but it does happen that the pre-sale, right, as well as the TGE is done on the same date. So what this means is before October 25, 2023, the project raised funds through private sales, right? They raised those funds. The actual coins are not really disclosed, which were sold before the pre-sale, but they amount to this 27 million.9 that you see right here in 10 funding rounds. So basically, there were some venture capitalists and some people who were interested into the project before the TGE happened, and they invested 27.9 million before the token was available to the public, right? Which means regular investors, retail investors like you and me, who bought in the 25th, 2023, were not affected by this vesting period, right? But everyone who bought before was affected by this vesting period, right? So October 2025, that's the public that was the public sale for where it was launched for Supra, right? And the token and also the token generation event, right? So investors who invested before this date received 10% of their tokens, right, on October 2020 on October 25, 2023, and the rest of their tokens were redistributed over 18 months, getting 5% per month, and this is going to be ending in April 2025, right? So we've got the key dates out of the way, and now we are going to be jumping into the pros and cons. But let's just recap on the key dates. October 2025, 2023, that's when the TGE, that's when the token was actually created, and that's when the public, you and me, were able to buy into this token, and we received 100% of our tokens. Anyone who bought before that into the pre-sale, into the before the TGE, right, the private sale, as well as venture capitalists who bought this before this date, only received 10% on this date, and they got 5% per month, and they're going to be receiving the last allocation on the April 2025, right? So what are the pros? Let's jump into the pros, right? So Supra raised a total of 27.9 million across 10 funding rounds. So this is how a pre-sale is actually done. Unlike the scam pre-sales that we do cover here on the channel, right? Normal pre-sales, the people who are actually building whatever platform they want to build, they really believe in it, they go and approach private investors, private venture capitalists, companies, right, to invest into their idea, right? They don't just go and launch and say, we want 70 million from retail investors and we're going to build something, right? They don't do that, right? This is how pre-sale have been run. These are called ICOs, right? Initial coin offerings. The ones that you see now, like the ones like Pepe Unchained, we're talking of flockers, right? Those rug pulls, these are scams, right? This is how a proper pre-sale is done, right? It's not normally done directly with retail investors, even though in some cases you can see that for even legit pre-sales, but not normally, right? So, and then also transparency economics, right? So Supra provides clear details about its token supply and vesting schedules, which adds credibility to the project. And remember, these vesting schedules only apply to those who bought before the launch of the token on the 25th of October 2023. And they have a working product as well as a roadmap execution, right? So the project has already launched its mainnet and it is actively developing its ecosystem. There are frequent updates and improvements based on their roadmap, which is good, right? And also there is an active community and developer engagement, right? So Supra is investing in its developer resources with the developer hub and detailed documentation available for those who want to build on Supra, right? And they build on the language of their choice, right? Which is actually quite good, right? So these are all the positive stuff when it comes to Supra. Now let's look at the negative stuff, right? The cons, because we always have positive and negatives, right? So suspicious transactions and limited transparency, right? This is separate from the tokenomics that we discussed under the positive. So some reports suggest that a wallet linked to Supra's multi-signature wallet has been involved in unusual transactions. While it hasn't really been fully explained, it raises concerns about the transparency, right? And also, there has been some issue in respects to censorship, right, in community discussions, right? So users raised questions about suspicious transactions on Discord, and they were removed from the server, right? A lot of projects do this, right? A lot of scam pre-sales, like for example, WebPay and others, you just say anything negative about the project, they remove you, right? Some even legit tokens will remove users, but it doesn't really help, right? Because you want people to have a discussion around what is going on and all that, right? And also overhyped marketing and unrealistic promises. So Supra claims to offer the best Web3 oracle, but it hasn't proven mass adoption yet, right? So it's like you're building a road. So if you're building a road, you're going to want a lot of people to use that road. Maybe you're going to put tolls on that road so that you can collect some funds and all that. But if you've got nothing and you're promising a whole lot of traffic that is going to be on this road and bells and whistles, but no one is driving on that road yet, right? That can be a little bit suspicious, right? And misleading to investors, right? And also limited exchange listings, right? So despite raising significant funds, Supra is still not listed on major exchanges like Binance or Coinbase. So this limits its accessibility and market exposure. For example, if you're in the US, it would be very difficult for you to buy Supra on a centralized exchange because I don't think there are any right now in the US where Supra is actually listed at the moment. That can prove to be actually a blessing and a curse because when it does get listed, that can be potential for massive gains, right? So currently, if you look at the markets for Supra, right, you've got Bybit, KuCoin, Max, Get.io, none of which are currently operating in massive markets like the UK and the US, right, at the moment, right? So, and also lastly, vesting period and risk of dumping, right? So pre-sale investors received only 10% of their tokens initially, right? And the remaining tokens will be unlocked over 18 months period, which could result in a sell-off once the vesting period ends. So the people who invested this 27 million, they invested before the public could start purchasing tokens. They will be able to get all their tokens by April, right, 2025. Right, they already have a significant amount of tokens already, right, because they're just left with what, 2-3 months before April, 2 months left for them to receive all their tokens. So some investors might have just been waiting. They didn't sell anything, right? They didn't sell anything, and by April, that's when they can start to sell. So let's jump to CoinMarketCap and look at other metrics, right? So if you look currently, there is a total supply of about 100 billion of Supra. Currently in circulation is 6 billion. But remember, there are a lot of tokens that are actually owned by people who bought before the pre-sale. Some no doubt have sold, but definitely not all of them. So there is a risk of dumping right into the project. There is that massive risk of dumping. So, and total supply, right? So max supply 100 billion. So that's the risk. It's only 6 billion in supply currently, only 6%, right? Currently, in terms of, and this is verified, right? Verified data. So coin market cap is actually verified that 6 billion is the one, is the are the tokens that are actually in circulation. So now let's look at the all time. So if you look at the price point of the pre-sale on TGE, right, was 207 when they launched. That was the price point. So currently, if you had bought a TGE, currently you'll be sitting at 2x, right? And it did go all the way up to 0.07, right? Which is quite good for those who bought here and were able to sell here. Very good. Currently, it's sitting here at 0.014, right? So should you buy into this one? That's the biggest question. Like I said, currently the adoption, right, in the listing on major exchanges, like for example Coinbase, right, Coinbase as well as Binance, has not happened. This can prove to be a blessing in the case. Could this be these exchanges, maybe they saw something suspicious in respect to the transactions, that's why they're not listing it, right? But of course, we cannot rule out that this token can be listed on Binance and also on Coinbase exchange. And if that happens, right, it can potentially explode, right? But personally, one thing that I would say is, since April, all the pre-sale investors who invested the 27 million will be getting all their tokens, right? Or the remaining of their tokens, like the remaining 10-15%, right? By June, we can safely say that's when we can know the price of Supra, right? By June, that's when we can know, because at least quite a few months would have passed since everyone has got their tokens, and then we can now start to really evaluate the price. Is it going to be going below the 207, which was the price on TGE? We don't know that at the moment, but now we can see that there was just a steady decline right into the price. Now, is this trend going to continue? We don't know, right? So that's why I said June, by June this year, we can have better insights into Supra, right? So definitely for me personally, I would wait until June before I invest into this one, right? Of course, it can just explode here and go up and go back to its ATH. That can happen, right? But right now, it's still a massive risk, especially if we're talking about the investors who bought the 27 million. Most of them, they're still holding significant number of tokens, right? Could they be just holding the tokens right now because maybe they bought at a higher price? We don't know right now, because this was a private sale, right? It was not open to the public, right? So those are some of the considerations that you need to make. So if you're going to go and buy now, just know that risk exists, right? Of those people who bought before the pre-sale price. It can go below. Is it going to go below the 207? We don't know. So I would say June, right, would be a good month for you to actually assess the project and see what has been happening with the price, right? Because now we see a steady decline, right, into the price. Is this going to continue? Chances, it suggests that this thing started right here on September 2024, right? And then we just see a steady decline into the price. So we still have to wait and see what is going to happen here, right? So that's why I say June is a key month, which you can decide if the price is still hovering around the 0.14, right? Or even if it goes to 207, which was the price on TGE, right? That might signal that it's a good price, but at least we need to see a little bit of pumps before June, right? To really have confidence into this investment, and also how many developers will actually be developing onto this, right? That will actually determine listing on Binance and Coinbase exchange, because if you're building a utility token, a blockchain, people need to use it. They need to develop dApps that are famous. But if that doesn't happen, it can be a massive risk. So this is my review for this one. And don't forget, if you want reviews such as this, join the NETCRYPTO membership. There are a bunch of perks. There's the 2x challenge. A video drops today, is going to dropping later, where we are always chasing our next 2x, right? And you also get priority, right? In terms of questions that you have, you can send me direct emails, right, to reply some of your concerns. And we have also strategies for buying some of the pre-sales that we talk about on the channel. There are a bunch of perks for joining the NETCRYPTO membership, right, such as this review right here. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.